Griffins. And of the free and the home of the brave.
Season they come off of a 16-11 victory at St. Bonaventure. Meanwhile, Canisius is 1-2 on the season. They come off of a loss on the road at Hobart. They also lost to start the season at Michigan, and that was sandwiched around a victory at Bellarmine. 16th all-time meeting between these two teams. Robert Morris leads the all-time series 10-5, including 3 straight. Robert Morris won last year 13-8 over Canisius, and the Colonials again have won 3 straight over Canisius, and 9-1 in the last 10 are the Colonials' name.
Yeah, this has been a pretty frequent opponent for Robert Morris, and a good time of the year to take them on in the home opener, 20th season for Robert Morris Lacrosse. And a lot of players leaving the program just in terms of graduation, so a little bit of a new look, some new leaders on this team. And there's the head coach for the Canisius Golden Griffins, Mark Miyashita, and he has coached up this team pretty good over the last couple of years. And again, it's been a tough trek for Canisius over the past handful of seasons against Robert Morris.
Craig McDonald for RMU, 3rd season as the head coach of the RMU Colonials. As both teams getting ready to get things started here today at Joe Walton Stadium. Beautiful sunny afternoon. It has certainly been a weird weather week in southwestern Pennsylvania. Frigid cold last Sunday for women's lacrosse here at Joe Walton Stadium, though the sun shone. Then we had women's lacrosse on Thursday, and it was pouring down rain. Earlier today, pretty heavy snowfall for a while in the early portions of the morning, and now the sun is out, though it is a cool afternoon to say the least. As we are underway here in Moon Township, PA, RMU right to left across your screen wearing their home white uniforms. Canisius wears the road navy blues. They'll head left to right. All pushed around. RMU has it far side. They'll work it up top now. RMU very methodical. Still plenty of time to work with on this shot clock here in the early stages of quarter number 1. Shot low, save made, and then covered up by Canisius. And their netminder will come out of there with, that's Tommy Kunz. And they'll push it out towards midfield.
Tommy Kunz has been the reliable goalkeeper over the past handful of years. Coming into this game, he's made 34 saves on the young season, 14.65 goals against average. So he's seen a ton of shots, but made a lot of saves for the Golden Griffins.
RMU forcing a turnover here. Will they get the ground ball? They finally do so. And here come the Colonials. Micah Hansen ended up coming out of there with it, and they push the ball very quickly right to left, going on a quick attack. Ball left back. Now the near side. Angled shot, carries wide.
Colonials trying to score on this quick strike transitional offense, and that was Elliot Holden who, with the stop up, guy that they're really going to rely on this year to score the ball, moving more from a primarily a midfielder position last year, now really on the attack for the Colonials this year for Craig McDonald, and a player that he expects to be a very vocal leader down there.
Boss bringing it near side. It's McCormick now with it, taking it up top. Catch and shoot. Shot carries wide. Missing for Burr for the Colonials.
Colonials already a handful of longer possessions, but not putting the ball primarily on net, so need to find a way to get a couple more looks towards the cage to test Coons.
RMU works it around to the far side. And Canisius comes out of there with the ball. A shot, I think, was caromed off of the side of the net and picked up by Canisius.
Canisius couldn't really pick that up, but a tremendous diving effort there by Reed Connery to keep that play alive for Canisius near the sideline and get it in towards one of his teammates to move it up to the offensive third of the field.
Canisius substituting. Now goes on the offensive attack. 3 minutes played and we're scoreless. Fridge takes it back behind the net. Libby back outside Fridge. Pushed far side. Webster gives it off. With it now, Perucki. That one carries wide.
What a move to the net by Perucki there. Dipping the shoulder on the defender. James Leary, one of these graduate seniors for Robert Morris, one of these veteran presence on the back end. And what a way for the Golden Griffins to get towards the net, dipping the shoulder, but can't get the shot on the cage.
Fridge pushes it back through the stick. Not able to grab it was Webster, and the Colonials grab the ground ball, get the clear quickly, and here they come on the offensive side. No quick shot, though, by RMU. Instead, they'll set it up. Swaggerty retreating to the far boundary. Now it's Burr.
Yeah, it was Blakely that came all the way in from the defensive side, tried to get it to Burr, and it sort of went right through him and then below the goal line.
Ball to the right side again. It's David Burr. Burr trots back, allowing the Colonials to set up their offense. Also gives Canisius an opportunity to set up their defensive zone. Burr charging in. Low shot and a goal for RMU. Burr with the first goal of the game coming for the Colonials.
What a rip from David Burr, and expect that to be the case not only today but throughout the season. Coming off a 7-goal performance, he just carries it right over here against Canisius with a shot from way out, beating Coons as he goes down low. Just what a nice place shot there. Going towards the ground, and Coons could not come up with a save, and Coons right now in his crease, going through the motions again, wondering how that ball ended up getting in and why he was so late to make the save.
So the Colonials goal coming with 10:29 to play first quarter. And RMU on top 1-0 on the goal by David Burr. So an unassisted goal for the Colonials. And Canisius sets up offensively. Mitchell working it back. Now to the right side, Easter charging his way 20 yards out from the goal line. Rolled back behind. Wolford pushes it over to the far side where Reed has it. Reed trying to turn the corner on the Colonial defender. Ball bounces back behind the net. Wolford scoops it up. And again, Canisius cycling the ball around. 20 seconds to go on the shot clock. Canisius has it. It's Jordan Reed. And a bouncing shot, stick to stick and into the net as the trigger is pulled by Mikey Howe, and Canisius has tied the game.
Canisius getting deep into this shot clock, but eventually it breaks through. They're able to find the lane and get it to Howe, as you said, Adam. Just crashing in towards the net. And on Nate Fector, the freshman goalie for Robert Morris, who has been relied upon a ton early this season, has sort of taken over the crease momentarily for the Colonials, but it's a tied game right now.
And Canisius wins the face-off. Quickly they go to the net and score as Canisius takes their first lead of the game on the shot by Camden DeTolo.
And it starts all the way with that draw control. The face-off one from Canisius and just walking straight down Broadway. And Canisius doubles up with 2 goals right away.
So 2 quick goals for Canisius, coming within 7 seconds of each other. And RMU goes from up 1 to down 1. Jordan Reed getting the assist on the first goal. And on the second goal.
Unassisted at the 5:53 mark.
And Canisius setting up offensively again with 8:22 to go here in the first quarter, on top of Robert Morris 2-0. Ball rolled far side. Again, Canisius methodical this time after going at it quickly after winning the faceoff following up their first goal of the game. Save made by RMU.
What a save by Fector there. And a shot from Perucki, sort of coming across the grain and just whipped it back towards Fector. I think he got that with like his left shin down there by his foot. Key save right up against the post. And the Colonials playing pretty aggressive defensively, but Canisius just going to work and continuing this extra long possession right now.
Ball on the far side. Canisius with it. It's Easter heading towards the net. And that one will bounce all the way to the far sideline and stay with Canisius. Hits off the post, so a shot on goal gives them a fresh 60 to work with.
And I think Fector might have gotten that a little bit with his shaft of the stick too. On a great shot by Easter.
Now Easter coming from back behind the net all the way out in front. Turned the corner and put it back behind Nate Fector. And Canisius has claimed a 3-1 lead on RMU on that goal by Easter. We're going to step away with 6:55 to play here in the first quarter. It's Canisius 3, RMU 1, and it's Robert Morris Men's Lacrosse here at Joe Walton Stadium.
You're more than a dreamer. You're a doer. Determined, driven, inspired. You may not see it now, but at Robert Morris University, we do. Our highly individualized approach will give you the confidence to try, the freedom to fail, and the support to try again. You'll be transformed, you'll be empowered, and you will be unstoppable. Robert Morris University, unstoppable.
We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. So we're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day and feed those left in the cold. We're going to do all this and more because we have an appointment with destiny.
You're more than a dreamer. You're a doer. Determined, driven, inspired. You may not see it now, but at Robert Morris University, we do. Our highly individualized approach will give you the confidence to try, the freedom to fail, and the support to try again. You'll be transformed, you'll be empowered, and you will be unstoppable. Robert Morris University, unstoppable.
6:55 to play in quarter number one. Adam Gusky and Nathan Preisinger on the call for you here at Joe Walton Stadium as Canisius has stepped down to a 3-1 lead on Robert Morris. The Colonials scoring first, but Canisius has scored 3 unanswered goals to claim this 2-goal lead on Robert Morris.
Yeah, and it's coming a variety of different ways for Canisius, especially the last two. After their first goal on the board for the Golden Griffins, it was Micah Hansen after the clean face-off win, and the Golden Griffins went right down and scored on Fector. Then it was followed up by a long possession, and finally Easter was able to put it home. So Canisius starting to gain some of that momentum against these Colonials, and especially looking to continue, the way they've been playing as of late, especially off of that Bellarmine win 2 games ago.
Canisius goal scored by number 8, Aiden Easter, unassisted at the 8:05 mark.
Well, to give the unassisted goal to Easter. As Canisius gets things going, it's Reed out near midfield. Long shadows on the artificial turf here at Joe Walton Stadium as the sun is setting in the southwestern sky. Battle for a loose ball, and Canisius will scoop the ground ball.
Timeout, Canisius.
And Canisius has called a timeout. 42 to shoot, Canisius with the ball. 6:11 to play here in the first quarter.
Saturday, March 20th versus Detroit Mercy at 4 p.m. Admission.
Again, Robert Morris is 1-1 on the season, coming off of a victory on the road at St. Bonaventure on February 20th. Colonials started the season at home, or excuse me, not on the road or at home, but a neutral site, against the Richmond Spartans, and Richmond got the victory 23-7 in that one.
Yeah, that was not the prettiest of efforts from Robert Morris in that one. The Spiders jumping out to a 7-0 lead, but the Colonials a much better response against St. Bonaventure, another one of those teams that the Colonials see pretty much every year. And the Colonials, they outscored the Bonnie 7-1 in the second quarter, and we talked about David Burr was such a big factor in that one. 7 goals, Starkey and Elliot Holden also with 3 apiece, so obviously a much better turnaround for the Colonials most recently, and now they're going to be fighting from behind in this one. And a Canisius team that also coming off of a loss to Hobart, where they lost 13-9, and they went down 6-0 in the first quarter. So, again, trying to avoid a slow start for the Golden Griffins, and right now they're doing a much better job of that.
And you have to expect a lot of the experienced players at Canisius want to get a victory over Robert Morris today, as the Colonials have won 3 straight over Canisius. We talked about that just before this game got underway, and the Colonials have won 9 of the last 10 in this 16-game series.
Absolutely. And however, one of the more familiar names on the Canisius roster of the past 2 seasons, Colin Kelly, who dominated with 70 goals in 26 games for the Golden Griffins in his first 2 years, departed from the program and now plays at Rutgers. And, tying that all together, David Burr previously played for Rutgers and now with the Colonials. So Canisius without one of their top goal scorers from a year ago, and they're starting to find some of those new guys to fill that gap.
Canisius with another protracted possession. About 10 seconds on the shot clock remain. As the Griffins work it onto the high left side, it's Reed. Back behind the goal it'll go. And a shot clock violation. And a turnover for Canisius.
Now the second time that Canisius has really worked deep into that shot clock, and this time just unable to get a clean shot on goal. And now they'll force a turnover with pushing Colonial out of bounds. Ben Starkey, what a play defensively by the Golden Griffins right there towards midfield.
Field has tilted to the right now as Canisius has held the possession for the Lions' share of minutes since the Colonials scored that goal at the 10:29 mark.
And that's a big thing for Canisius because Robert Morris has an explosive offense, but as long as you can keep them away from that offensive side of the field, you're in good shape.
A lot of times the best defense is a good offense, and that's what Canisius has shown over the last 6 minutes or so. Oh, and somehow the ball was down on the ground. A Canisius player was knocked down. A quick ground ball scoop by Mason Wolford. He tossed that one over his shoulder into the back of the net, and Canisius extends their lead to 3, up 4-1 on RMU.
What an effort on this goal from Canisius. As you mentioned, Adam, the Golden Griffins driving towards the net. You see 2 players on that guy, and then Wolford, how about that? Cleaning up the loose garbage and depositing it into the back of the net, behind the back. Oh, wow.
That goal coming with 4:34 to play in quarter number 1. Canisius 4, RMU 1. This face-off won by the Colonials, and here comes RMU looking to answer back. It's been 4 unanswered goals by Canisius since RMU scored the first goal of this game. A shot there blocked down to the turf. David Burr is able to scoop up his own ground ball after that block shot. Now Burr trying to race his way out in front of the net. And a save is made. Tommy Coons on that long shot. He had a screen in front of him, but was still able to knock that one down to the turf. And then Canisius races and scoops up the ground ball.
And now we've seen the last 2 possessions for RMU really depending on David Burr to create his own space and get a shot off. But Coons equal to the task with a heck of a save going down low.
Ball cycled for Canisius over to the far boundary. Racing up top was Mitchell, and then he'll pull it back out. Ball finds its way to Webster. Webster surveys, leaves it off to the right side for Fridge. Fridge now getting instructions from the bench. 3:20 to play, Fridge on his horse. Back around, Wolford to the near side. And Canisius right now happy to push the ball around, waiting for their opportunity to get another shot towards the net. Purposeful possession again for Canisius. Will it lead to more points for the Golden Griffins? And again, Canisius cycling the ball around, making concentric circles, quite frankly, getting closer and closer to the net, but then they end up turning it over. Strong defensive play by RMU, and they're going to turn some defense into offense here. Stick to stick, it's Burr, and he'll pull it back out as RMU will settle things down and set up a long possession.
And started all the way from that defensive effort by Brendan Cena. I mean, Canisius trying to work it around, but got the turnover, and then 3 Golden Griffins converged on Cena. He was able to get the ball away to his partner, and the Colonials moved it upfield.
Ball pushed out. RMU has it up top. Peltier had it. Comes near side now. Elliot Holden racing all the way around to the right side. Bringing it back left. Greco to Holden. Quick pass. Shot ripped off by Starkey. And it will bounce all the way back out. RMU scoops the ground ball. A fresh 60 to work with. So a shot on goal for the Colonials. RMU has it back behind the net right now. Holden out on the high right. Up top it goes. Burr brings it near side. Starkey. Starkey charging forward, then works it back out. Long shot ripped by Greco. Stop made yet again by Coons.
Great shot there by Greco, and it was set up from a screen from Eric Swaggerty, sort of set the pick right in front of him and allowed him to have some time and space to get a good shot off Coons with another tremendous save.
Just under a minute to play here in the first quarter. And RMU is going to take a timeout here smartly. An opportunity for them to talk some strategy with the possession, and 46 seconds to work with on the shot clock.
And Canisius right now 6-4 shots on goal, leading in that category, especially due to the prolonged offensive possessions that they've had. But it seems like Robert Morris has really started to push here, getting some better looks as we see here, just getting towards the net. David Burr, a couple opportunities. Starkey trying to get and push in towards the net. We saw that shot from Greco with a nice response by Coons. So it was expected to be a back and forth affair. Canisius ahead by 3 goals, but I mean, Robert Morris is lurking right now, and they're really pushing.
Up ahead for the Robert Morris men's lacrosse team, they're at Hobart on Saturday, March 2nd, so the Colonials have a full week off. And they'll have a couple of tough road tests at Hobart, at Virginia, and at Jacksonville before returning to Joe Walton Stadium for an ASUN matchup against Detroit Mercy. Touched on Canisius being 1-1 on the season, a 21-5 loss on the road at nationally ranked Michigan before getting the victory at Bellarmine 8-7. And then they lost at Hobart, a team that the Colonials will be playing in Geneva, New York, a week from today.
Yeah, both teams had a chance to see the Wolverines early on the season. For Canisius, it was a regular season game that counted towards their record. For Robert Morris, a scrimmage. So they got to work on some things without it hurting any sort of record. But that's a top 15 team in the country in the Wolverines, and Canisius got a chance to face up against them but lost 21-5. So they had some experience against a top team and then splitting the last 2 for the Golden Griffins.
RMU with the ball here. Burr had to lean out, grab a hold of that one before it carried all the way to the far sideline. It would have been a turnover for RMU. Instead, Burr keeps the possession. Shot on net, save is made.
That one from Connor Boss, just another great windup and rip. And Coons is playing really well. He's been sharp so far today.
Yeah, Coons playing at another level right now, as the first quarter is in the books and Canisius holds a 4-1 lead over the Robert Morris Colonials. We're going to step away. When we return, it'll be more men's lacrosse here at Joe Walton Stadium.
You're more than a dreamer. You're a doer. Determined, driven, inspired. You may not see it now, but at Robert Morris University, we do. Our highly individualized approach will give you the confidence to try, the freedom to fail, and the support to try again. You'll be transformed, you'll be empowered, and you will be unstoppable. Robert Morris University, unstoppable.
We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. So we're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day and feed those left in the cold. We're going to do all this and more because we have an appointment with destiny.
You're more than a dreamer. You're a doer. Determined, driven, inspired. You may not see it now, but at Robert Morris University, we do. Our highly individualized approach will give you the confidence to try, the freedom to fail, and the support to try again. You'll be transformed, you'll be empowered, and you will be unstoppable. Robert Morris University, unstoppable.
Canisius on top of RMU 4-1 after one quarter. The Colonials got scoring started with a David Burr goal. That goal coming at the 10:29 mark. Canisius answered fairly quickly with a couple of goals in 7 seconds time. Mikey Howell with a goal assisted by Jordan Reed, and then Micah Hansen won the ensuing draw, stormed his way down towards the net, scored the goal to give Canisius their first lead. A couple of minutes later, Caden Easter added to the Canisius lead, making it 3-1, and Mason Wolford rounded out the scoring at the 4:34 mark with the 4th Canisius goal unanswered.
Yeah, some really strong individual efforts because there's only 1 goal out of the 5 that has been assisted. So Burr, Hansen, Easter, and Wolford all unassisted goals, and especially that Hansen goal really sticks out, just the way he was able to win that draw and go down and just rip one.
RMU in the whites, left to right here in the second quarter. Save made. And boy, has Coons stood tall in the net.
Yeah, he's been amazing so far this afternoon. And Elliot Holden just walking to his right, trying to let a shot go across his body. And, I mean, the way Coons has been able to track the ball has been exceptional. And a couple times we talked about the Greco shot from way out high was through kind of a screen, too. So the way he's been able to find the ball has been really, really strong this afternoon.
So Coons with 4 saves unofficially. Just 1 save thus far for Fletcher for the Colonials. RMU setting the offense. Moon worked it back. Now it comes near side right. It's Burr who has the lone goal for the Colonials. Feeding it off. Peltier. Tried to feed it back behind for Swaggerty. But the pass goes awry and a turnover for the Colonials.
Yeah, Peltier got dumped there trying to get it in behind the goal, and it just rolls all the way to the end line, so Canisius able to pick this one up and start moving up the field.
Canisius storming up the field with it.
Webster went down for Canisius on this near sideline in front of his bench.
Ball cycled far side. Canisius has it. Now racing back behind the goal come the Golden Griffins. Wolford, and it's worked around. Racing forward, Peruki. Canisius maintains the possession here. Just over 2 minutes into the second quarter. Each team has had a possession. Canisius has it right now. Fridge worked to the far side. Knocked out of the stick of Webster. The Colonials forced the turnover, grabbed the ground ball, and raced quickly. Clear it into the offensive end. Stick to Burr, and Burr's shot is saved by Coons, and then Canisius grabs the ground ball, goes the other way with it, a near turnover, but now they'll settle things down on the defensive.
That opportunity for Robert Morris all set up by Liam Blakely's defensive tenacity to knock that one free and get it up, and then Burr with the perfect feed just could not get it past Coons because, again, he's been right there with every answer so far.
Coons has really stood very tall for Canisius between the pipes. 3 minutes played here in the second quarter. We haven't seen a goal since the 4:34 mark of the first quarter, and we haven't seen a Robert Morris goal since the 10:29 mark of the first quarter.
And the Colonials 7 shots on goal, so 6 big saves for Coons to this point.
Ball pushed out high right, shot ripped off, and that'll carry wide as Kozak put that one towards the net.
Timeout, RMU.
And RMU takes a timeout after Canisius was going to maintain that possession with 29 on the shot clock. 11:34 to play here in quarter number 2. Adam Gusky, Nathan Bryson are on the call for you.
And right now, Adam, with the way that Coons has been playing, you got to think that that is really making this Canisius team really, bringing their high energy right now offensively, wanting to score a couple more goals, because the way their goalkeeper has just been playing out of his mind and making big-time saves, that's really got to resonate with that offense as they try to break through themselves, as it's sort of quieted down for Canisius as they were starting to roll a little bit early in that first quarter. But Colonial's playing better defense, have forced a couple turnovers, but again, every time they try to get upfield, there's Coons right there, like a brick wall in net besides that Burr goal.
RMU men not back here at Joe Walton Stadium until Wednesday, March 20th. So a long break for the men's and women's lacrosse teams before returning home to Joe Walton Stadium. Nathan and I should be on the call for you for that one. Coming up on March 20th, 4 o'clock face-off for that game between the Colonials and the Titans. Long talk here for Craig McDonald and the RMU men's lacrosse program. McDonald in his 3rd season, taking the timeout. Talk defensive strategy here, as Canisius will have the ball coming out of this stoppage.
And the one thing Canisius coming into this game really looking to do is expose when Robert Morris is sliding and shifting to bring in a double and try to find that open guy that's around to get a better shot off.
Ball worked up top. Canisius maintaining the possession. 15 to shoot here as an angled shot carries wide. Canisius will have one quick rush at it, coming from back behind the cage with the possession. It's Wolford. His pass goes awry, and it'll bounce all the way out towards the midfield stripe, where RMU scoops the ground ball just for a second, and then the Colonial over there, Elliot Holden, gets absolutely run through by a Canisius player, and RMU has the possession.
Yeah, Caden Easter was the one that was trying to come back towards that loose ball, and as Holden was just patiently waiting there with sort of his feet cemented in the ground, Easter came and just leveled him. But nonetheless, Robert Moore's possession.
Holden works it out up high for Greco. Now high left, it's Starkey. Starkey charging forward, then pulls it back. Loose ball here, scooped up by RMU. David Burr feeds it off right side McLeod. McLeod pulling it back out, Burr. Now for Starkey. McLeod up high. To the far side, he'll work it, Greco. Cycle behind for Holden. Holden eluding a defender. Pushes it out high right. Colonial starting to compact the offensive attack, but an errant pass versus Burr all the way out 25 yards from the goal line, where he'll scoop the ground ball. Down to 10 on the shot clock here. Burr's going to have to hurry things up. Backing down a defender physically is Burr.
Oh, off the post.
Yeah, backhanded shot. Caroms off of that left pipe, rolls all the way to the near boundary, and it will be Canisius ball.
Well, there's just another perfect example. I mean, that deep in the shot clock, Ben Starkey put David Burr in a tough position there, but Burr worked his way back, backing down that defender, and then just able to sort of spin off enough and get that wicked shot towards the net, but just not enough off the post, just inches, mere inches from going in.
Burr 6'1", 210, and used all of it to back down the defender. Got a good shot towards the cage, but just wasn't able to cash in. And now Canisius with the ball. Under 10 minutes to play in half number 1. Canisius very methodical, as they have shown throughout the first quarter and a half here today. Ball cycled Fridge to the near side left. It'll come for Mitchell. Mitchell has a long stick defender on him and will feed it off. Now for Peruki. Far side. Bouncing shot carrying wide right. The miss by Kozak. Canisius last back. They keep the possession. 17 to shoot here for the Golden Griffins.
And now we're starting to see Canisius get shots towards the net, but just not on. 11 shot attempts with 6 shots on goal. Fector, a lot of balls going right past him.
Shot on goal there, save made by the Colonials netminder Fector, and it ends up bouncing to the far side where the Colonials scoop the ground ball and will set things up, trying to get some offense rolling.
And Canisius has been able to break through, as we've mentioned a couple times, but again, just not able to get the ball completely on the cage. A couple shots wide, but Colonial was able to pick this one up and go the other way.
RMU slowing things down, trying to set up the offense. 25 yards away from the goal line right now. With it, it's Starkey. Starkey, shot, save made yet again by Coons. Got that stick on it, and it'll bounce all the way to the far boundary.
Another turning shot from a Colonials attacker, and it's Starkey this time, and Coons able to get that shot that's rising up on him. Colonials maintain.
Ball pushed behind. Now worked out again. Boss. And Canisius comes out of there with the ball yet again.
Now the Colonials are settling for these shots that are coming from out high. They had a couple times where thought they could have pushed it inside. Had Joe McCormick at one point cruising in the middle of the teeth of the defense. Number 41 for Robert Morris, taking over that jersey number from Taggart Clark last year, who was a big-time player for Robert Morris. A handful of guys that have moved on. Owen down defensively as well. A big piece that they're having to fill in, but defensively, they have a nice handful of guys back there to go along with the grad senior James Leary. Liam Blakely, as we talked about, played every game as a freshman last year. A couple other guys really stepping in on the youthful side for Robert Morris.
Jordan Reed takes it far side. Pass awry, though, as Reed tried to feed it off to a teammate. He couldn't corral it. That was Kozak who couldn't grab the pass. And the loose ball rolls all the way across the end line. Turnover for Robert Morris, and the Colonials charge forward with it, trying to turn a turnover into a Colonials goal. At the midfield, RMU has it. It's Moon racing at a loose ball, but he's not able to scoop the ground ball. Instead, Canisius will do so, and then an errant pass by the Golden Griffins as Canisius had that one. It was Bahrain who tried to push things forward. It went awry, and a turnover for Canisius.
Yeah, Burrion looking for Keegan Kozak up there. Had a step on the Colonials defense, but unable to connect.
Back shot. Kozak tried to rifle that one up over the left shoulder, but it carries well wide. Canisius able to get that one over on the far side and reset their offensive possession.
And Canisius had that 2-on-1 developing there with Kozak, and he sort of slowed up a little bit and allowed for Bobby Rayum to come in from behind, but unable to pull that one away. Still got a chance towards the net.
Patrick Mitchell spinning, takes it out to the goal line, takes it to the far side before feeding it back for Webster. All cycled around again by Canisius. Sharp angle shot. Save made by the netminder for RMU, Fector.
Big save on Wolford coming and climbing out from behind the cage, and I think that one popped up on Fector too. Had to make a secondary save as that ball was hanging around, but no other Canisius Golden Griffins in the area to try to put some pressure on Fector.
Errant pass. Heck, though, grabs it for Canisius. Long stick ends up dumping that off to another teammate before Canisius will settle things down defensively, and RMU will get their offense rolling near the midfield. As with the ball is Aiden Greco, as they sub on the more offensively able players. Ball comes near side right. Shot ripped off. Carries high by Aiden Greco. Good chance there for the Colonials as the seas parted for a moment. But not a great shot by Greco towards the net.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Greco so far. 3 shot attempts, 2 on goals for the freshman from Rochester, New York. So he's getting a ton of playing time early in the season, a guy that they've really liked so far for Robert Morris.
4-1 was the score after 1 quarter, and that's where it stands right now, 11 minutes into the second quarter.
Yeah, a lot of chances for both teams, but it's just been a matter of, we saw it again, Elliot Holden just putting it right over the crossbar. A lot of shots in towards Coons, in towards Fector on both ends, but not necessarily good ones on the cage.
And now RMU gets a chance and scores a goal there. As finally RMU was able to put one towards the cage, and they get the goal. This time by Elliot Holden.
And finally the Colonials making do with what they have. From outside, Elliot Holden, he missed the previous shot over the net. This time, completely different spot in the net, going low, 5-hole on Coons.
Nice pass, falling down Aiden Greco. He was knocked down from behind by a Canisius player, but still was able to get that ball off to Elliot Holden, who, like you said, put that low 5-hole shot on, and the goal.
And a penalty coming up on Canisius, the yellow flag being tossed. Number 48, Mike Hansen, going to take a pause.
Like you said, Hansen heads to the penalty box, where he's saddled with a penalty, and that'll put RMU man up for the next 30 seconds. Just a 30-second technical against Canisius. But in this sport, 30 seconds can be a lifetime. And another Elliot Holden goal, this time from the right side. And that one was going 1,000 miles an hour as it snapped the net.
What a ripper from Elliot Holden, and that just came down to the ball finds him, and he looks off his defender as he looks over to Burr with the fake and just wires it home. And obviously the Canisius defense has to shy over a little bit towards David Burr as well, because you know he can put the ball in the back of the cage. But it's Elliot Holden with back-to-back goals in just moments, especially a big one on the man-up advantage.
Yeah, the Colonials with that man-up goal coming just 21 seconds after the previous goal. And Canisius will ultimately come out of there with the face-off win, as the ball was bouncing around for quite some time. And quickly to the net come the Canisius Golden Griffins, and they will answer back as that ball finds the stick of Patrick Mitchell. He pulls the trigger and extends the lead back to 2 for Canisius.
What a big response for Canisius. That's exactly how you want to draw that up after letting up 2 back-to-back goals, especially a player down goal, and just going all the way down the field for Canisius. Patrick Mitchell, one of their top goal scorers, with his 5th on the year and his 9th point of the season.
So the goal for Mitchell, and unofficially we'll credit an assist to Ethan Thompson. There's that goal coming with just around 3 minutes to play in the second quarter. Canisius up by 2. Robert Morris with the ball, though, and they've built some offensive momentum as they give it off to Holden. He rips a shot that carries off the mark, but still gathered in. Ball worked around. It's McCormick. Charging forward for RMU was McLeod. McLeod leaves it off. Holden now to the right side. Shot put on by David Burr, and the save is made. And boy, has Coons shown brightly today for the Canisius Golden Griffins.
Yeah, and even after a couple of goals his way, he's not been detracted by that at all. He's just going to go for the next shot and make the next save.
Under 2 minutes to play here in quarter number 2. Canisius with the ball. Up by 2. Loose ball here for a moment, but then covered up and picked up by the Colonials as the stop was made by Fector. He scoops the ground ball, and the Colonials trying to turn that into some offense with 90 seconds to go in the second quarter. Canisius has led by as many as 3. Robert Morris led by 1 for about 1 minute and 15 seconds before Canisius tied the game at the 9:14 mark. It's Burr working it out now up top. Fed off for Moon. Moon with a hop step. Feigns the pass, takes it goal line, then back behind. Sharp pass out front of the crease. But it caroms off the stick of Peltier. And a turnover for Robert Morris. And Canisius will have the ball. Shot clock not a factor, so they can get last shot of the half if they want to be patient.
Colonials trying to make sure Canisius doesn't get over the midway line. Great effort and hustle by the Colonials, but finally Canisius able to break through. Not just yet for the clear, but now they do, set up with 30 seconds left.
And Canisius takes a timeout here with 29.6 seconds to go in the second quarter. And Canisius wants to talk offensive strategy here. They want to make sure they're able to set things up to get last shot of the half, number 1, but number 2, to turn that last shot of the half into a goal. Canisius yet to play a game in the Mid-American Conference. Or excuse me, not the Mid-American Conference, the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, the Robert Morris Women's Lacrosse team in the Mid-American Conference. Well, the men's lacrosse team is in the ASUN. And we certainly are dealing with ASUN here.
Absolutely.
At Joe Walton Stadium.
Right through the pane of glass here, but Colonials have rolled in the ASUN the past few years since joining the conference, winning it 2 years ago. Last year coming up a little bit shorter, but they're going to rejoin the Northeast Conference for the 2025 season. So last year for Robert Morris to make some noise here in the ASUN, obviously still in non-conference competition, but they've been a good fit so far in the ASUN. A little bit tough geography-wise in terms of travel. You got to go to Air Force. You got Jacksonville now in there. I mean, a lot of moving around, but Northeast will be better in terms of traveling for Robert Morris next year. But last year the Colonials went into the playoffs, beat Jacksonville in the first round 9-8, and then came up short 12-4 against Air Force, which has always been a tough opponent for Robert Morris in the ASUN, and a team that they've seen often even outside of the ASUN conference. So Colonials trying to get back one more time before they head off back into the NEC.
Yeah, last season, Air Force played Utah here at Joe Walton Stadium in the ASUN championship game. You talk about the tough travel, not just Jacksonville. That's an easy trip in comparison to Colorado and Utah, which are also members of the current iteration of the ASUN Men's Lacrosse League. 10 seconds to go here as Canisius turns it over. Robert Morris scoops the ground ball, and they'll take it quickly the other way, trying to get something going here with 3, 2, and 1 as a goal is scored by RMU. Boy, talk about turning defense into offense. Elliot Holden scoring with just under a second to go.
Wow. All that pressure on Elliot Holden's back, but his feet were moving. He just blows past a handful of defenders and goes up high on Coons, and he's having himself a day now with the hat trick and just a handful of moments for Robert Morris. And now it's a 1-goal game when it could have been a 3-goal game for Canisius. So a big turn of the tide here with 0.3 on the board.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate turnover for Canisius. Conversely, Robert Morris was very fortunate, number 1, to get the ball, and number 2, worked very quickly. Got to give him a lot of credit for being able to move that ball down the field so fast and turned it into an Elliot Holden goal, a hat trick for Holden. Well, we're going to step away here at halftime. When we return, it will be our halftime coverage at Joe Walton Stadium. It's Canisius 5, RMU 4, and it's Robert Morris Men's Lacrosse at Joe Walton Stadium. Halftime at Joe Walton Stadium, Canisius 5, RMU 4. Robert Morris scored the first goal of the game, but Canisius went on to take a 3-goal lead, 4-1 on the Colonials. RMU answered back, so did Canisius, and then RMU scored the final goal of the second quarter to cut the lead down to 1 for the Canisius Golden Griffins. Time to take a look at our mid-game numbers here at Joe Walton Stadium.
As you can see there, Robert Morris leading with shots on goal, which is surprising because they really turned it on towards the end, 13-9 in that category, because Canisius was holding a lot of those offensive possessions. But it's been led by the turnovers, 9 turnovers compared to 6 going the Canisius way. And that last one, as we talked about, Adam, a big one leading to the final goal for Elliot Holden before the buzzer. And ground ball is pretty even. It's been really tightly contested on the ground, trying to pick up any loose garbage and change off the ground. 12-11, Robert Morris ahead in that category.
We are going to step away here at Joe Walton Stadium. Your halftime score, Canisius 5, RMU 4. Back with more halftime coverage when we return here in Moon Township, PA. Halftime at Joe Walton Stadium, Canisius 5, RMU 4. Adam Gusky, Nathan Breisinger on the call for you this afternoon. Here in the West Hills of Pittsburgh, time to take a look at our first half highlights. And a lot of them came hot and heavy early for Canisius, though Robert Morris got things going with the scoring on the early goal by David Burr.
Yeah, and Canisius, after this Burr goal right here, you see him walk towards the middle and just fire it home. Then Tommy Coons really settled in nicely and has been big time for the Golden Griffins for about 90% of that first half until later on, as we'll see. But Canisius really started rolling there and started putting the ball in behind Nate Fector, the freshman goalkeeper. Mikey Howe got the goal scoring. And then they just continued to put the ball towards the net. One off the crossbar that goes wide. Here's Easter climbing out from behind the goal, beating his defender. Another shot that went up into the upper portion of the cage. So Canisius just did a great job early on, picking their corners and continuing their play and putting the ball towards the net, picking up the loose change there and depositing it in the back of the cage.
Yeah, that was quite a remarkable goal there by Mason Wolford, scooping that ground ball and rifling it into the net. But then Robert Morris, once we moved into the latter stages of the second quarter, started to get things going offensively, scoring 3 of the final 4 goals of the second quarter.
And it was Elliot Holden being the catalyst of that. I mean, he has just been on fire there the last about 5 minutes. 3 goals. Coons had to make a couple big saves on David Burr, who is one of these primary threats for Robert Morris. But Elliot Holden, 0.3 seconds left on the clock before halftime, made it a 1-goal game.
We're going to step away one final time here at halftime, back in about a minute as we get you set for the second half. It's Robert Morris Men's Lacrosse at Joe Walton Stadium. Getting set for quarter number 3 at Joe Walton Stadium. Canisius on top of RMU 5-4. Again, recapping the scoring. Robert Morris got the scoring started early with David Burr, 10:29 remaining in the first quarter, scored the first goal of the game, and then Canisius ripped off 4 straight in quarter number 1 to take a 4-1 lead into the quarter break. Goals scored for Canisius by Kyle McMillan, Liam Blakely, wrong roster. Goal scored for Canisius by Mikey Howe, Micah Hansen, Caden Easter, and the final goal by Mason Wolford before Robert Morris saw Elliot Holden score a second quarter hat trick. And that was sandwiched around a single goal for Canisius by Patrick Mitchell. Canisius with the ball left to right, rode navy blue uniforms to begin quarter number 3. This non-conference men's lacrosse matchup. Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, the home of the Canisius Golden Griffins. A-Sun, final A-Sun season for RMU men's lacrosse before they head back to the NEC. Peruki with it for Canisius, gives it off for Webster. Webster retreats and pushes a pass off as the ball cycles around for Wolford, who now has it back behind the goal line and brings it near side for Peruki. Peruki charging forward, back behind the goal. Canisius takes it to the goal line where a bouncing pass from Mitchell heads over towards Peruki, but it's intercepted, scooped up by Owen Tapper, and the takeaway for RMU. Does it lead to a scoring chance? RMU has to clear it into the offensive zone first. And RMU not able to get a good look at it. A decent offensive opportunity as Canisius got it right back. And here come the Golden Griffins back left to right.
Yeah, that was quickly thwarted away by Canisius. A chance for Robert Morris to tie this game up. And, you know, as soon as Robert Morris ties this one up, if they can, that'll be a huge moment because they've really built a lot of momentum and confidence in the last 5 minutes of that first half.
Especially when you consider Elliot Holden scored that final goal. The Colonials turned defense into offense very quickly, forced the turnover, and then raced down the field as Holden cashed in with less than a second to play in the second quarter to cut the advantage down to 1 for Canisius.
Yeah, and that transitional offense for Robert Morris is something they have really worked upon. And for head coach Craig McDonald, he said that it was really leaps and bounds between the Richmond game to St. Bonaventure game, the way that their offense improved in the transitional game. So obviously Colonials unable to connect on the most recent opportunity, but we've seen it a couple times, including that Holden goal.
Up high, Canisius with the ball. Ball down on the ground. Now who's going to scoop that ground ball? It'll be the Colonials goalkeeper, Nate Fechter. Running down the far numbers. RMU looking to set up offense, trying to tie this game. 3 minutes into quarter number 3.
Holden tried to pass it off to James Leary, and he just wasn't ready for it. Colonials really lucky to come back away with the ball because Burr couldn't pick it up either, and then eventually a Robert Morris attacker came in and was able to scoop it up.
Canisius on the defense. Robert Morris putting a shot towards the net. That one rifled high. Missing the mark was Will McLeod. It'll stay with RMU, though, 38 on the shot clock.
And that opportunity for McLeod was opened up because James Leary just set a simple screen and pick there that 2 Canisius players just sort of got caught with. They really didn't know who was going to pick up McLeod, and he got a good shot off but missed the net.
Back and forth the Colonials pass it. It's Starkey near side. Starkey 5 yards from the goal line, rifles one, caroms rather, off of either the post or a stick. Couldn't tell which. Either way, shot on goal. But it's going to be a turnover for Robert Morris. Canisius will come out of there with it.
And the way Coons reacted from that Ben Starkey shot, I almost thought that one in. But yeah, as you said, Adam, that one hit one of the dimensions off the cage and popped out and was a loose ball, but Robert Morris turned it over eventually.
Right now, Coons with 10 saves on 14 shots, 71% save percentage thus far. Meanwhile, Fechter for the Colonials, he has faced 9 shots in total and has saved 4 of them for a .444 save percentage. RMU, Holden has it. Up top it goes for Starkey. Right side with it. The Colonials will work it back out from Cena. Down to the near side left for McCormick. Colonials retreat with it down along the goal line. Now trotting his way back behind the cage is Elliot Holden. Holden pushing it out. Ball's loose. Ground ball chance here for Canisius, and they will scoop it. RMU again not able to set up a good shot, though they had the possession for quite a while. Canisius settling down in the offensive end. Plenty of time to shoot. A minute on the shot clock right now. Back behind the goal again for Canisius. the Golden Griffins have it. It's Kozak working it well back outside. Push to the far side, Fridge. Near side it comes, bouncing shot. Looked like Victor got a piece of that shot put on net by Peruki. And it'll stay with Canisius. They do say that it did hit off of Victor, so a shot on goal and a fresh shot clock for Canisius.
Yeah, a great job chasing that one down for Canisius. Number 19, Jackson Webster, one of their main guys offensively.
As Peruki rips that shot off, there were two Colonials in the vicinity, and Peruki knocked down to the turf, and I think the Colonials are going to go man down here on a penalty, and it's going to be against Liam Blakely.
Yeah, Liam Blakely just a little over-aggressive, going to get called. Takes the knee there, as you see on your screen, and Canisius going man up offense. Only the first time we've seen that today for Canisius. Robert Morris has had a chance.
So a 1 minute penalty against RMU. Liam Blakely, long stick defender out there, takes a knee in the penalty box. He'll sit for a minute, and that puts Canisius man up for a minute.
And the Golden Griffins just 10% on the man up offense. 1 goal on 10 attempts.
RMU penalty assessed against number 48, Liam Blakey.
45 on the shot clock right now for Canisius. Up top, feigned shot. Now Peruki far side, works it back out for Mitchell. Mitchell retreating. Feeds it off, Webster right side. Webster gave it up, then back work for Mitchell. And an errant pass. And there's still 45 on the penalty, but still a good job by RMU keeping Canisius at bay on that man up.
Yeah, Canisius trying to go to Keegan Kozak. Back door, got down to one knee. Just could not corral the ball in. Had some nice space down low, right on top of the crease too on Fector. Could have gotten a good shot off.
Dancing with it, Greco. Colonials man down right now for 20 seconds. RMU trots it around from well outside. David Burr could have killed the penalty. So RMU forces Canisius to go to 1 of 11 on the season in the man advantage.
Another errant pass there from Robert Morris. David Burr just trying to turn it. Seen that a couple times where Robert Morris, they've gotten forced by the Canisius defense to make a bad pass.
And Canisius, will that be a shot by the officials? They say it is a shot to the net, so the possession will stay with Canisius as their last back.
Yeah, Fector trying to chase that one down with a pair of Golden Griffins, but Canisius comes away with the ball.
.60 to shoot for Canisius. We've yet to see a goal in this third quarter. Errant pass and another turnover for Canisius, as both teams with 11 turnovers.
Yeah, that certainly has impacted the game, but neither team really able to go up and score some goals off turnovers, rather than the Elliott Holden goal was one of the only ones we've seen so far.
Pass pulled in, it's Wolford trying to charge his way forward. I think RMU is going to be guilty of a slash here as they scoop the ground ball, get possession. That'll draw the whistle from our official, who trots over to report this penalty against Robert Morris.
Yeah, Blakely was really active with his stick, slashing away, but coming over for the penalty. Owen Tapper, another one of those defenders for the Colonials, as we talked about. some of these younger players. He's a freshman for Robert Morris, and he'll take the knee.
Owen Tapper, freshman like you said, from Ontario, Canada. 1 minute penalty for a slash on him. So man up goes Canisius. 6 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Ball comes near side right, now back behind the goal again. Quick pass, feigned shot. Peruki, and another errant pass by Canisius. Short-arming that reception was Jackson Fridge. Fridge didn't put the stick out far enough to grab the pass. The turnover gives Robert Morris the ball.
Well, I think that one actually could have been, you can credit that to the Sun. Fridge, after that ball sort of went past him, he just didn't look like he was really ready for it, and then he pointed off towards his teammate. And I think he's talking about the Sun. You're starting to see really these shadows come onto the field, and I think that's going to start to make an impact here in this last handful of minutes into the fourth quarter as well for these two teams.
Very good point, Nathan. And, you know, we talked about in the first half how long the shadows are, but now a 6-foot man has a 6-yard shadow.
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot of movement in terms of the players got an extra handful of yards to him now.
Yeah, the sun low in that southwestern sky as we look towards the west here at Joe Walton Stadium. Shot ripped off, save made again. They say it just carries wide. I guess no contact on the ball by Canisius' goalkeeper, Tommy Coons. The shot clock continues to wind down to 15 to go here as RMU kills that penalty, maintains the possession. So Canisius is now 1 for 12 on the year in the man advantage. Low shot ripped off, and a goal for RMU as the goal is scored by RMU's number 16, Will McLeod, and the assist to Elliot Holden. We're going to step away here. We're tied at 5 as RMU has knotted this game up at a handful apiece. We're at Joe Walton Stadium in Moon Township.
You're more than a dreamer. You're a doer. Determined, driven, inspired. You may not see it now, but at Robert Morris University, we do. Our highly individualized approach will give you the confidence to try, the freedom to fail, and the support to try again. You'll be transformed, you'll be empowered, and you will be unstoppable. Robert Morris University, unstoppable.
We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. So we're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day and feed those left in the cold. We're going to do all this and more because we have an appointment with destiny.
You're more than a dreamer. You're a doer. Determined, driven, inspired. You may not see it now, but at Robert Morris University, we do. Our highly individualized approach will give you the confidence to try, the freedom to fail, and the support to try again. You'll be transformed, you'll be empowered, and you will be unstoppable. Robert Morris University, unstoppable.
4:31 to play here in quarter number 3. Robert Morris has tied the game at 5-all on a goal scored by Will McLeod, and the assist going to Elliot Holden. Holden, who already has a hat trick today, leads to that Colonials goal there. With 4:31 to play in the third quarter, we're tied at 5 apiece. And we were at 5-4 for the entire third quarter up until that goal by RMU's Will McLeod.
What a big goal, big tying tally for Robert Morris. And this was a game coming in, especially noted by head coach of Canisius, Mark Miashta, that this one was going to be a hard-nosed lacrosse game from beginning to end, and right now it's a tie game.
How about RMU ramping up the defense since the first quarter?
At the 10:29
Yeah,
Canisius was on top 4-1 after the first.
Absolutely, and Adam, as you mentioned, I mean, Robert Morris has really put it together defensively in front of Nate Fector, and they've had to, because Fector, a little shaky early on, but much improved from Robert Morris as a whole.
Canisius has failed on 2 man-up attempts. Robert Morris had a brief man-up attempt of their own, but wasn't able to do anything with it. Colonials were able to turn some defense into offense. They killed the penalty and then turned it into a goal after getting back to even strength. Right now, Canisius with the ball, cycling well, 25 on the shot clock as they have yet to rip one off here in this possession.
And the Colonials doing a nice job of just keeping them out to the exterior. There was a chance there for Patrick Mitchell a couple moments ago where he was trying to come in right around the goal line, and Liam Blakely quickly took that angle away.
Shot blocked by a Colonial defender, and then a Canisius player knocked down, a big hit and a ground ball all at the same time by Elijah Edwards. Great defensive sequence there for Edwards. Blocks the shot, knocks down the offensive player, and then gets the ball, though the Colonials give it right back to Canisius very quickly.
Another new name on that defensive side, Elijah Edwards. Another freshman for Robert Morris, making his name known. The Cambridge, Ontario native, put a shoulder on the player and then got the loose ball, but eventually leads to this.
Some conversation, and it will be Colonials' ball. 2:50 to play third quarter, tied at 5 apiece here at Joe Walton Stadium. The pine trees have casted shadows from midfield towards the right side goal, but still the golden green for the Golden Griffins on the field to our left side because of that sun shining across the artificial surface. .220 to play third frame. Robert Morris looking to take the first lead since they were up 1-0. Colonials trotting back behind the goal with 35 to go on the shot clock. Ball worked right side. It's Burr. Burr dancing back. Now he'll charge towards the goal line. Pass across to the near side. Racing out in front. And a shot carries wide. As RMU not able to pull the trigger cleanly towards the cage. Rayum with the shot that carried wide. RMU still with some time here to get a decent shot chance. It's Elliot Holden racing out front. Steps around a defender, and another save is made by Tommy Coons. 11th save of the game for Coons.
Yeah, Coons again just being super sharp, and Colonials 2 shots on goal in this third quarter. As Coons just been so difficult to beat for the most part. Rayum, though, a little bit before that, sending it wide. The Colonials just a matter of getting more balls towards the net because eventually they've been able to break through on Coons.
70 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Canisius with the ball, looking to reclaim the lead with this possession. About 15-second differential between shot and game clock as a shot is ripped off, blocked by a defender, bouncing out towards midfield. And RMU was able to get that ball back into their offensive end as the defender couldn't keep it forward for Canisius, but Canisius was able to retreat with a midfielder, scoop up the ball, and reset offensively. And now the shot clock is in favor of Canisius, so they can hold for last shot. And we've seen how quickly Robert Morris is able to turn defense into offense in these late quarter situations.
And that ball was eventually grabbed off a shot that bounced off of Liam Blakely. I think he was turned around, actually hit off his backside, it bounced all the way out, and that shot came off of Canisius's Hunter Peruki, who thought he's been very noticeable this game. He's had the ball a ton. He has 7 shots towards the net, but only 1 shot on goal. But for the rest of it, he's been held off the score sheet. He's been very noticeable getting the ball and activating this Canisius offense, but has yet to find the back of the net or even add an assist.
The officials coming over to talk to the field coordinator who talks things over with the folks in the press box to discuss the clock. A little insight on how the sausage is made.
They bumped it from 30 seconds on the shot clock to 40. Not that that matters. So that's the first thing that they've fixed. Now they move to 37. And right now, 25 seconds on the game clock.
So clock winds, Canisius with the ball. Charging forward come the Golden Griffins. Shot is wide right. That one by Easter, who has a goal today. Clock will wind as soon as Canisius starts to bring that ball back in bounds, and they will do so. Behind the goal, it's Mitchell. Mitchell brings it out. Turnaround ripped shot. That one will bounce out of bounds.
Second consecutive shot from Canisius there. Easter, along with Mitchell, just firing towards the left side of that post, but well wide, a couple feet wide.
This will be Fridge now to trigger things. Works it out front, where a shot is placed towards the net by Kozak, but that one goes wide, and we will head to quarter number 4, tied at 5-all. 3 quarters in the books. Robert Morris with the lone goal in the third frame. Back with more men's lacrosse action at Joe Walton Stadium. Three quarters in the rearview mirror. It's Robert Morris 5, Canisius 5. Adam Gusky, Nathan Bryson are on the call for you here at Joe Walton Stadium. Dual sport doubleheader here in Moon Township, as the women's basketball team was in action just behind us at the UPMC Events Center. That game tipped off at noon, got done around 2 o'clock. And we bounced on over here to Joe Walton Stadium for some men's lacrosse action, a non-conference game between RMU and Canisius. 16th all-time meeting between these two teams. Robert Morris leads the series 10-5.
Yeah, Adam, you're pulling the double duty today on both calls for women's basketball now this game.
Battle for the face-off, and Canisius will finally grab that ground ball, but a big hit there, knocking the Canisius face-off specialist down, Micah Hansen.
Yeah, that was Bo Columbus that just laid the boom. Surprised, that one looked a little high too, but Columbus, the guy for Robert Morris that came in 2 years ago, was massive in the face-off circle, but he was out all of last year, so a very welcome addition back into the lineup for Robert Morris. The first time we've really talked about him, as the face-off specialists have been a little left out of the discussion of this game, been very defensive-minded with a couple really big goals, so those face-off specialists not talked about a ton, but Columbus, a big player for Robert Morris this season.
Yeah, Micah Hansen, the face-off specialist for Canisius, scored their second goal and the lead that gave them their first lead of the game. He won the faceoff, charged all the way down the field. And they were beating him up so much, I didn't notice that his number was 48, not 40, so I initially said that the goal was by Camden DeTola instead of Micah Hansen, but we cleared that one up, and the faceoff specialist, Micah Hansen, did have the second goal of the game for Canisius.
Yeah, if we have any goals of the game, Elliot Holden's probably up there with that goal with 0.3 seconds left, and then it's that Hansen, just unbelievable effort off the faceoff draw to go in and score.
So 13:45 to play here in the fourth quarter. Canisius has the ball after Robert Morris turns it over. Near side it'll come. Canisius has a player knocked down, big collision over here on the near boundary. As Caden Easter turns it over, it'll be Robert Morris' ball. Physicality has started to pick up here in the fourth quarter as Robert Morris has built some momentum. The Colonials scoring the last two goals of the game, one coming in the latter stages of the second, latter stages of the third, and then that one in the early stages of the fourth as the Colonials claim their first lead since it was 1-0.
What a big goal for Robert Morris, and the Colonials have to get their whole sideline back on the bench. Everyone's sort of starting to celebrate on the field because Ben Starkey, after a handful of big hits, he finally gets the ball and just takes it himself, cruising down that right side. And with a great top shelf rip from Starkey, makes it 6-5 with their first lead of the game since all the way back on the first goal of the game from David Burr.
Ben Starkey from not that far away, Strongsville, Ohio, scoring that goal. And Robert Morris, like we've said, has their first lead since it was 1-0 RMU.
And at this point, it's coming down to the little details, especially the loose ground balls. If a team can force a turnover and pick it up, that's going to be critical the rest of the way, and it was there as Robert Morris started to turn the other ways, and then they got the ball back and score.
Colonials outscored 4-1 in the first quarter. They then outscore Canisius in the second quarter 3-1, and we're down by 1 at halftime. The Colonials scored the lone goal of the third quarter to make it 5-5, and thus far the lone goal in the fourth quarter. The Colonials have that one. A goal scored by Ben Starkey to give the Colonials the 6-5 advantage.
Well, Adam, it happened again. Canisius turns the ball over because the sun, looking right basically into the sun, was Caden Easter. He just never saw it. It just bounced right past him and towards the sideline, so this sets up Robert Morris's possession.
And a beautiful pass wide open on the doorstep on that right-hand side was Eric Swaggerty, and he caught the pass from Elliot Holden and give Holden the dime on the big goal by Swaggerty.
Give him two on that. I mean, Elliot Holden's having a heck of a day, not only scoring but dishing off the ball, and just a great find there and finish by Eric Swaggerty, and really, he didn't have to do much. He was standing there right on top of the crease, and before Coons could get over, the ball was behind him. And now a two-goal lead for Robert Morris, their first of the afternoon.
Second assist of the game for Elliot Holden to go along with 3 goals for Holden. And RMU with their first 2-goal advantage. Far side, Canisius has the ball, but that player is knocked down to the turf in Dylan Collins. And now Canisius calls timeout as RMU wants to maintain this momentum. We're going to step away here at Joe Walton Stadium. It's Robert Morris 7, Canisius 5. It's Robert Morris Men's Lacrosse in Moon Township, PA. 4 straight goals for the Robert Morris Colonials. The final goal of the first half, the only goal of the third quarter, and the only 2 goals of the fourth quarter has led to the Colonials claiming their first 2-goal lead of the game, 7-5, on top of the Canisius Golden Griffins. Joe Walton Stadium, home of Robert Morris University men's lacrosse. Adam Gusky and Nathan Pricing are on the call for you this afternoon. On conference matchup here today. Canisius with the ball, looking to reclaim some form of momentum on Robert Morris. It has been the Colonials since just before halftime. That shot ripped off. Ball caroms off of the netminder, and then the rebound finds its way into the stick of a Canisius player who's able to bury that one into the net and cut the Colonials' deficit down to 1.
Yeah, Fector had no clue where that ball ended up jumping up to. He was spinning around, and it lands perfectly on the stick of a nearby Griffins attacker. And he buries it with a wide open cage. Canisius brings it back to a 1-goal game. And again, I mean, defensively, Robert Morris has done a much better job. And Fector with a great first initial stop. And that one just leaps up into the air. And Canisius with a fortunate bounce to find the back of the net.
Canisius out of the timeout, scoring a goal. Now they win the faceoff and can't tie it with this possession. Depending on the pace of this game, maybe we may be dealing with the sun on the field to our left-hand side for the remainder of regulation.
Yeah, and it hasn't done us any favors because they do credit the goal for Canisius, Mikey Howe, and we could hardly see because the sun's just been in our way and not a great look down at the numbers, but Mikey Howe does get that goal right on the doorstep on the ball that bounces up. So, and Canisius going to also go up on man with the flag on the field.
Yeah, delayed penalty right now. This will give Robert Morris fits as that save is made and the ground ball scooped up by RMU. So that'll stop the clock as Canisius will go man up where they are 0 for 2 today.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a struggle for Canisius on the man-up advantage throughout the year as we talked. They're now 1 for 12 on the season, and it's something that Mark Miashta, the head coach of Canisius, really wanted to work on. So they needed to button it up, and they watched a lot of film on it yesterday prior to this matchup. So looking to break through finally here in a 1-goal game. It's a big spot for Canisius on this man-up.
Pass rolled near side. Canisius smartly, as they bring the ball from that side of the field to this, not trying any serious passing, especially when the teammate is facing the sun. Ball worked back out. Feigned pass right, goes back left. Shot ripped off.
I think Blakely got a piece of that.
I couldn't tell if it made it all the way to the net or the defender got a piece of it, and I concur with you. I do think it was a defensive deflection.
And the Colonials just doing a good job staying in their structure, sort of shifting back and forth, and now back even.
Canisius works it to the right. Spinning. Now retreating. That shot carries high. Just 7 on the shot clock. Canisius will have to hurry up. They want to try to get a shot towards the goal. Down to 5. Down to 3. 2. And a shot clock violation. And I don't know that that ball made it.
Yeah, they're going to wave it off.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the ref here from the near side was on top of that one, came quickly out, and it looked like he still had that ball in his stick before he got the shot away.
They had a very good look at both where the ball was as compared to the shot clock. And that's, you know, one drawback of having a shot clock at what is 100% designed to be a football stadium. The horn doesn't sound when the shot clock expires like you would see with a shot clock at a basketball arena, for example.
Yeah, you have to have someone paying attention to call that, and the referees as well, and just good job there to make the call. But Colonial's going the other way, and another tremendous save in the crease by Tommy Coons to keep this a 1-goal game.
Canisius with the ball delayed penalty upcoming against Robert Morris, so Canisius will have another chance at the man advantage as they have not been able to come through with their chances thus far. Oh for 3 is Canisius in the man up. Spinning, heading towards the net, and then the pass pushed off. Still waiting on the delayed penalty as Canisius has the ball with 10 seconds to go on this shot clock. And a sharp angle shot somehow finds its way into the net for Mason Wolford, his second goal of the game.
Yeah, just a sneaky shot from Canisius as time was ticking away. And this one evens it all up. Can just see, I mean, just trying to throw it towards the middle. Just a matter of getting it towards the crease. And Wolford, fortunate enough, that one finds its way in behind Fector.
So they're going to wave off the penalty after the Canisius goal. Ties this game at 7 apiece. Robert Morris had scored 4 straight. Canisius was on top by a score of 5-3. The Colonials then scoring 4 straight to take the lead 7-5. Now Canisius scoring 2 straight to tie the game at 7-all.
And really hasn't been anything flashy for Canisius either. It's been 2 unfortunate sort of shots and bounces that have led to goals against Fector.
Just a dropped ball there by Canisius. Burrian couldn't hang on to it. Will Canisius scoop the ground ball? They will. Well outside of the net is Tommy Coons, but he will get back in between the pipes as the Colonials will set up the offense.
A great play, too, behind the goal by Elliot Holden. Not sure if it was even on purpose. The ball was bouncing there, and a defender was converging in on the loose ground ball, and he sort of poked it with the head of his stick away, and then he chased it down and picked it up.
Behind the net again, Robert Morris has the ball. 50 seconds to shoot. Up high it'll go. Racing right, and back behind again. This time it's Holden. Cycle near side right. Behind again for Holden. Holden thought about the wraparound, instead pushes it out. Shot put on by Swaggerty, who has a goal today. That one will roll across the end line, stay with Robert Morris, 32 on the shot clock.
And Swaggerty just receiving that pass and sort of stationary, just trying to fire it as quickly in on Coons as he has to look from behind the cage out front.
Now to come near side right. Swaggerty again. Swaggerty got some separation from a defender. Stop is made. Another save for Tommy Coons.
Great dodge there by Swaggerty. Got himself some space, but instead of really walking in, he took that shot right around the 17-yard line. Just let it go, and Coons was able to make the stop.
Sliding his way through traffic, Canisius with the ball. It's Peruki. Now towards the net. Low shot and a goal for Canisius, as that one is scored by Quinn Huber, the freshman from Indiana.
Quinn Huber, his first collegiate goal with Canisius, and the Colonials defense just hesitates here before they really get towards him. It was James Leary there, along with Elijah Edwards, just a little miscommunication on who was going to pick up Huber, and Huber had the space and wired it in below Fector.
Even strength goal coming with 5:50 to play here in quarter number 4. Canisius has reclaimed the lead by 1, 8-7, as Canisius has scored 3 unanswered. Canisius getting the ball on the RMU turnover.
And Canisius really starting to control possession-wise, time of possession-wise, and that last opportunity for Robert Morris really, you didn't want to waste, and they did. And now Canisius has a 1-goal lead with the ball back.
Down the far sideline, Canisius with the ball. Ball now rolled to Peruki. Near side it comes for Howe. Howe to the goal line. Pushed out. 10 yards from the goal line, far side, it's Easter. Easter who has a goal today. Now Peruki charging towards the net. Ball's loose, ground ball scooped by RMU.
Important ground ball there for Robert Morris, and Canisius, again, has been doing a much better job of picking up the loose rubber, leading in that category 26-19 at this point in the game, and that'll be a big factor the rest of the way with 4.5 to go.
Back behind the cage, Robert Morris has it. 4.5 minutes to go. Just under a minute to work with on the shot clock for the Colonials. Ball worked far side. Holden gives it off Swaggerty. And a pass centering out front through the stick of the intended receiver, Joel McCormick, though the Colonials were able to trail that one and scoop up the ground ball, keeping it with RMU.
Great awareness there by Connor Boss to be paying attention and grab that loose ball.
Now Holden to Burr, bouncing shot. I don't think Burr got that shot off the way he wanted it to, and it'll bounce all the way to the near side, kept in by RMU.
No, he did. David Burr really didn't get the great shot off. Quinn Huber was pretty face up with him.
This one ripped by Burr, save made by Coons.
And David Burr, I mean, he has just a heavy shot when he can wind up all the way and release it. And another great opportunity, but that one rising up on Coons. He's able to make the save, as we see here. Burr just, I mean, he can be so lethal. Again, we talked about it, 7 goals against St. Bonaventure, just 1 here today with that opening goal of the game from Burr. He's looking to add another one, trying to bring this game even.
30-second technical penalty against Canisius, so Robert Morris man up for 30 seconds. I think they want to reset game and shot clock here. The official comes over to talk over to the game management official down along the sideline. 3:36 game clock as that resets. 28 seconds on the shot clock. Now they'll push there, on the penalty. 60 on the shot clock on this penalty against Canisius. And that is Keegan Kozak, the senior attack from British Columbia. The official still looking over towards the scoreboard. I guess still communication between the field and the penalty box area. Game management official gets everything handled. 30 on the penalty now. 3:36 mark on that penalty. Fresh shot clock for RMU. Can RMU take advantage of the man advantage here and tie this game at 8 apiece? RMU pushing the ball around, looking for a good shot. Collapsing concentric circles on this offensive attack for Robert Morris. Shot ripped, they will say a shot, as it'll carry across the sideline. Canisius kills the penalty, but Robert Morris maintains the possession.
Yeah, it looked like that could have been going for a pass, but officials decide that one was close enough to the goal.
This one back behind the net, a pass intended for Peltier. He drops it, it carries across the end line, and a costly turnover for Robert Morris. Canisius has the ball with a chance to A, kill some clock, and B, try to extend this lead to 2. RMU trying to shut down Canisius, bringing the ball across the midfield line. A quick ground ball scooped by Canisius. They throw it into RMU territory where a ground ball is scooped by the Colonials, and RMU pushes it left to right with possession. And a timeout is called by the Colonials bench. RMU with a big chance here, 75 to shoot. Plenty of time on the game clock. They need to talk strategy.
And it all started with, I mean, the Colonials had that offensive possession. The ball goes behind the net, and Peltier, he loses the ball, then trips over his own foot and gets his foot caught in the turf. Then as Canisius is trying to bring it up, tremendous job by Peltier to regroup and recover, gets back up towards midfield, and him and Holden converge on the Golden Griffins to force a loose ball, and eventually Blakely pokes it around, picks it up, and dishes it over. And now Robert Morris with an offensive possession here, 2:21 on the clock. And both teams have been a part of some closer games as of late, and especially Canisius with a game when they took on Bellarmine. It was an 8-7 game where, I mean, Canisius outscored the Knights 3-1 in the fourth quarter, and that was a game that really showed that they can play in a lot of these close games. And head coach Mark Miashta talked about that some of these close contests have been an Achilles heel to the Golden Griffins, and it's something they're looking to overcome, and they're right in another one here with Robert Morris.
Robert Morris tied this game at 5-all with the lone goal of the third quarter. That one coming at the 4:31 mark of that third frame. RMU then scored 2 goals in the fourth quarter, but Canisius has ripped off 3 straight to reclaim the advantage 8-7. And that's where we stand right now with 2:21 to play. Robert Morris has the possession. Plenty of time on the shot clock, 75 seconds, in fact, on that shot clock. Tommy Coons has played spectacularly between the pipes for Canisius. Taking a look at his numbers, 14 saves on 21 shots. That's a .667 save percentage. Meanwhile, Fector, 7 saves on 15 shots, so he's under 50% at this point. Canisius backing off defensively, allowing RMU to set things up far side. Holden back behind. Push near side from Swaggerty. Now fed off Starkey. Starkey has a goal today for RMU, as now Holden has the ball. Holden, couple of assists to go along with the hat trick. And a low shot into the net, and we are tied at 8 apiece on the 4th goal of the game by Elliot Holden.
And we felt it coming. This was the type of game that we were in store for, and Elliot Holden has been doing it all himself. I mean, really putting the Colonials on his back, just like David Burr did against St. Bonaventure just a few days ago. And Elliot Holden this time just moving from left to right, just gets a great look on net. And Coons, I mean, he's just been outstanding all day long, but unable to get down and make that save on the low shot from Elliot Holden.
1:42 to play. Who's going to scoop the ground ball on the faceoff? Who's going to get this faceoff win? Finally, it will be Robert Morris who scoops that one up for RMU. It was Owen Tapper who scooped it for the Colonials.
And that's the 8th faceoff win for the Colonials. And Canisius with 11 on the game. They were really controlling there until about the last few minutes, where Colonials have been able to get a couple of those and leading to some big-time possessions for Robert Morris.
Timeout taken yet again for Robert Morris to talk offensive strategy. RMU was able to get the ball, score a goal by Elliot Holden to tie this game at 8 apiece. Right now there are 84 seconds remaining in the game, 67 seconds on the shot clock. Robert Morris with the possession.
You'd have to expect 2 guys, Elliot Holden, David Burr, the 2 guys you'd think that the Colonials are really going to force the ball to and to get some good looks on net, but Tommy Coons, as we said, has had the answer a lot today. 14 saves, as you mentioned, Adam. He's just been tremendous in the crease, but it comes down to this. You have a star goalie who's made a ton of big saves, but can he make the last one for Canisius as they look to try to go ahead here with 1:24 left?
Canisius obviously taking this break to talk defensive strategy. A lot of pressure falling on Tommy Coons, who has had a spectacular game thus far today for Canisius. Facing 22 shots in total, saving 14 of them. Robert Morris has had a total of 38 shots, 22 of them on goal. 14 of them saved by Coons. On the other side, Canisius has shot it 35 times, 15 of them at Fector. So we're back to live action here. 70 seconds to go. 50 on the shot clock. Robert Morris with the ball. Down the far side, RMU with speed. Ball given off. Swaggerty. He'll push it out. Burr up top. Starkey. Starkey takes some contact. Gives it off now. Holden. Holden has it straight away. 30 to shoot. Holden goes to the right. Shot carries over the net. 43 to go on the shot clock. Fan saying that the ball was touched by the netminder, which would have reset the shot clock and allowed Robert Morris to hold for last shot of the game, or at least of regulation, I should say.
And right now, Robert Morris, I mean, on that attempt, Holden didn't have a ton of space, but they're looking for the open look.
Pushed out again. RMU with Starkey. Starkey holding it away from his body. Now puts a shot on the net. The save made by Coons. Canisius can push the issue. Instead, an errant pass carries to the sideline. A turnover for Canisius. And there couldn't have been a worse time for the 20th turnover of the game to happen for the Canisius Golden Griffins.
Unbelievable. The pass from Coons over to Robbie Martin, and he just could never corral it all the way. I mean, that one just skipped up on him and went towards the sideline. And Adam, as you mentioned, I mean, that's just the worstly time mistake you can have at this point. It gives Robert Morris another chance with 16.8 left. Timeout called. Gets a chance for Robert Morris to draw up a play and Canisius to find a way to stop it. Big time moment and an 8-8 game right now. And a big game early on in this season between these two teams that have frequently seen each other. Canisius trying to stop the bleeding as of late against Robert Morris, the Colonials team that has dominated this matchup in the last handful of years.
Robert Morris has won 10 of the 15 previous meetings between these two teams. The Colonials winners of 3 straight. Last time these two teams met a year ago yesterday. Or excuse me, a year ago Monday. On February 26, 2023. RMU a 13-8 victor over Canisius. Colonials 9-1 in their last 10 against the Canisius Golden Griffins. And the sun no longer a factor for the folks down on the field, as it has completely set on the field and barely on the horizon for us high above the field here at Joe Walton Stadium.
Yeah, it sort of evens the playing field here for both teams, because that has been a huge factor a couple times, especially more for Canisius, because we've seen it that those players have noticed that the sun has caused turnovers, pointing at it, being visibly upset with it. But right now it's all down to this one play for Robert Morris, 16 seconds to go. We saw the way they were able to strike with 0.3 to go to end the first half. Let's see if they can repeat it.
Holden, the one who scored with that 0.3 seconds, has the ball. Now it's Burr. High pass. Not able to be corralled by Rayum. Rayum all the way to the far side, loses it. And Canisius will have it with 2.2 seconds to play here. A long pass, which is deflected. And we are headed to overtime here at Joe Walton Stadium. 8-8 is your score after regulation. Both teams with a chance to talk some things over here as we head to overtime in this non-conference matchup.
And with men's lacrosse going into overtime, it's sudden death. Teams get a minute here to regroup, talk things over. Both teams get a timeout as well. And you see a pair of Colonial and a Golden Griffin heading towards midfield to talk things over with the referees.
So through 4 quarters, time to take a look at some numbers. First of all, scoring by quarters. Canisius 4-1 in the first. Robert Morris 3-1 in the second. The Colonials scoring the lone goal in the third. And then 3 goals apiece in the fourth quarter. And we're tied at 8 all. Shots on goal, Robert Morris 23 as Tommy Coons has stood on his head. Meanwhile, 15 shots on goal by the Canisius Golden Griffins. 20 turnovers by Canisius. That has been a detrimental number thus far compared to just 15 for RMU. And Canisius right now with a little bit of an advantage on those ground balls.
Yeah, the turnovers have been a big number right now for Robert Morris, with a couple key takeaways, a couple of those caused turnovers as well. And it's led all to this point. Elliot Holden, a huge game for Robert Morris with 4 goals. Wolford and Howe, both with 2 goals respectively for Canisius. And a lot of credit, as we continually to say, Tommy Coons, 15 saves. And he's going to have to stand on his head yet again in this overtime period for Canisius.
So thus far, the players of the game, one on each end for Canisius. It has been their goalkeeper, Tommy Coons, with those 15 aforementioned saves. For Robert Morris, clear-cut Elliot Holden. 4 goals, 2 assists thus far for Elliot Holden, including a second period hat trick to get the Colonials back into the game after being down by 3, 4-1 after the first 15 minutes of action.
And the most recent overtime game for Canisius against VMI last year, April 1st, the game they lost 11-10. They had 2 consecutive overtime games. They lost to Siena in conference play. The game before that, 10-9. And for Robert Morris, the last time they were in overtime was Mount St. Mary's in the NEC tournament, winning 13-12 on the way to winning that NEC championship.
Robert Morris scooping the ground ball and an errant pass, as that pass by Padone was headed to the right-hand side through the stick of an RMU player, and Canisius will get the ball.
Yeah, it was David Burr that was the recipient of that pass. He just a little bit higher on him, hit the top of the head of the stick, and flew out of bounds. I mean, what a great opportunity for Robert Morris to get a good look on net early in this period.
Canisius bringing the ball into the offensive side, knocked down to the turf is a Canisius player. Delayed penalty now put on as a low shot ripped and a goal for Canisius. A long distance shot by Hunter Peruki, and Canisius defeats Robert Morris 9-8 in overtime.
Well, it was about time for Peruki to get one to go. He's had so many go towards the net, and you can just see the excitement from this Canisius Golden Griffins squad. I mean, it was a dogfight until the very end. 9-3 overtime winners for the Golden Griffins. Off the turnover from Robert Morris, Peruki hounded, coming away with the ball and falling towards the turf, able to get a tremendous look at the net, and he beats Nate Fector.
And boy, did he put everything he had into that underhanded shot towards the cage. Peruki with the game winner at the 3:18 mark of overtime.
And he knew that that could have been the last opportunity for Canisius, and as you said, Adam, and he had to put everything he could on that shot. And we just talked about the game that he has had. 9 shots, 3 of them on net. Finally, 1 goes for Peruki, and he helps, the senior leader helps Canisius improve to 2-2 on the season.
So like you said, Canisius 2-2, yet to play a game in Mid-American Conference, Metro Atlantic Conference action. Meanwhile, Robert Morris sees their record fall to 1-2 on the season. Next up for Canisius, they will be at home against Cleveland State in Buffalo, New York on Friday, March 1st. For the Robert Morris Colonials, they're off for a week, and then they will travel to Geneva, New York to take on Hobart. We won't be back here at Joe Walton Stadium for men's lacrosse until Wednesday, March 20th, as the Colonials will be home for that one against Detroit Mercy in an Atlantic Sun game.
Yeah, and then this one, for both teams, just the grudge match that it was. I mean, this one was emotionally taxing for both of these teams, and Canisius to come on the other side of it with the wins, big for them. And Robert Morris, I mean, you can take a lot away from this one, but I mean, just a couple bounces didn't go your way, especially as Canisius evened it up and then took the lead before Robert Morris tied it back up before overtime. And for Robert Morris, I mean, they've really had to rely on 2 players for majority of these games so far. Burr last game, and Elliot Holden, a big 4 goals and 2 assists, the leader for Robert Morris today.
Well, that'll do it for our coverage here at Joe Walton Stadium today, as the Canisius Golden Griffins defeat the Robert Morris University Colonials by a score of 9-8 in overtime. We thank you for joining us For our entire crew and my broadcast partner, Nathan Breisinger, I'm Adam Gusky, and that'll do it for today here at Joe Walton Stadium.